The Neutral.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of The Neutral. I'm your host, Amanda Stevens. For those of you who don't know, The Neutral is going to be an FGC podcast where I interview people, whether it be, pro players across, everything from Street Fighter to Tekken to Smash to any game in between. And we'll also be trying to, highlight people in the community, TOs, content creators, people who take photographs. We're going to try to focus on everyone that we can. And this week, we have Endemic's Shine. If y'all don't know, Shine is an Ibuki main playing Street Fighter V. You may have seen him in the Street Fighter League each week on Team Gale with Knuckle as his captain and fellow teammate Rob TV. And, you might have seen him mixing people's shit up, either on NLBC for Wednesday night locals, or you probably have seen him on the Capcom Pro Tour, right? So I'm going to get Shine on, and, let's see if we can get this call going. So we're going to go to the loading screen, and give me a second. Alright, so we've got Shine. Let's see if it comes up for you guys. Yep, we got a Shine. How's it going, my dude?
Alright, just making sure it's unmuted. Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, First episode of the show, so far nothing has broken. So, it's already a good show.
I'd say it's like a very good start.
Yeah, I mean, you're the one who told me that you tend to break things, so I'm like really worried now about the first episode.
I was super worried when you said it was your first episode. I'm like, man, you chose really the wrong guy for the job. But, everything's working good, fingers crossed. And, should be good.
All right, so I'm going to start with the easiest question possible, which is why Shine? Why is your handle Shine?
That is a good question. And if I had a great answer for you, I would let you know. But, I mean, so the name came from, back in the day when I used to play, Gears. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know what the trend was for online shooters back then, but it was to pick any name, any name out of the dictionary, anything, and to dress it up in I's and O's. So my initial gamer tag after I made the name Shine was O space Shine, double I's. You have two I's, and then O, so space O. So that was actually my name back then. Back when I was playing a lot of Gears before I got into Street Fighter, and that's kind of how I just kind of kept the name. Since then, I got rid of the I's, dropped the O's, and now it's just Shine.
All right, so you brought up Gears. So how did you get from playing Gears, which I assume was relatively casually, to playing fighters? What was your first fighter?
My first fighter, competitively, seriously, was Street Fighter 4. I got into because my friend came over. He's like, yo, I got Street Fighter 4, and I remember playing Street Fighter 2 when I was younger. And, I just kind of Street Fighter 4, and I looked up videos. I'm like, oh, this looks fun. So I went over there, I played it, and I was like, I don't know, I kind of just fell in love with the game. And because they made the game easier, stuff that was really hard for me back in Street Fighter 2 was so much easier to do in Street Fighter 4, shoryukens and, just maybe it was because I was older, or maybe it was because of the execution barrier getting lower in Street Fighter 4. But anyway, that was a huge reason why I just loved the game, stuff I couldn't do before I got to do, but it was so new and fresh. So I just kind of got addicted to the game over time, and I probably got the game 2 months after he showed me that, and I don't know, it's just kind of snowballed from there, and here we are 9-10 years later. So.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so you started playing casually, right? Your friend got you hooked onto Street Fighter 4, gave you that crack. But yeah. How did that translate into you going I think I can mix kids' shit up on a competitive level?
I think when my Gears teammates, because I used to play online. I don't know how many people are familiar with game battles, but we used to play online MLG game battles. It was a free ladder and everything. But I think when I started spending so much time playing Street Fighter 4, to the point where I got pretty much kicked off my team because they found out I was appearing offline. to play Street Fighter, and they found out. I definitely got kicked off. But I think after that, when I realized that like after a while, I was playing so much, and I was playing like an underrepresented underrepresented character, Goken at the time. Uh, and I was just playing and playing, and I kind of realized that I was winning and winning a lot more. And I think people at the time were telling me, I had a couple of friends online, Xbox Live, were telling me, if you're in New York, you should go to this tournament. At the time, it was Battlefield Arcadia. It was called. They used to hold it like bi-weekly every Sunday. I remember it was held by the guys over at EMP, Triforce, back in the day. So yeah, I think at that point when I realized, I don't think I ever knew that I was gonna be like a good player. It was kind of just like I kind of just want to go to this tournament and just kind of like see what I could do, and it was fun.
All right, now I don't know if you can remember this far back, but when you went to your first local, did you like O2 pretty easy, or did you hold your own?
Oh no, so I think I caused a pretty big uproar at my first tournament. It was because the Battlefield Arcadia was like pretty big back then. It was like you got to see all the East Coast talent. It was kind of like the Battle Circuit before Battle Circuit. It was streamed by Seb from Frame It. What was it? Was it Frame Advantage? Oh, I'm trying to remember the name. I think it was Frame Advantage. It was Seb from Frame Advantage anyway. And it was a big stream because like streaming wasn't too big yet. And within the FGC, I think only a certain amount of people could really like do it on that level that Seb was doing it. So you got to see all the East Coast talent, and when I went there, I was I think I was getting destroyed by like Iwara-san's Dan and Chris Hughes Sakura. Like I was getting like destroyed in casuals when the tournament started. Well, yeah, I did pretty well and I got second. And back then, it wasn't like you see it a lot more now, but back then it wasn't too common to see like controller like pad players. And I was a pad player playing an underrepresented character on a stream for a lot of people to see, so it kind of caused an uproar. I think I got second. Sanford destroyed me in grand finals like 6-0. So, but good times. Taking me down memory lane real quick. But yeah, it was great.
All right, so like this is sort of the thing that I think a lot of people struggle with when they get into fighters is they're like trying to figure out like how they go from playing at home to going to their local if they have one, and then deciding to go to something bigger, a combo breaker or Defend the North or something like that, because we're New Yorkers here, so Defend the North is one of our biggest major events. So like when you started realizing that you were doing good at these locals, was it sort of just like a natural progression for you to like, say, all right, I think now I can, beat people at like a higher level?
It actually wasn't a natural progression at all. I think I stopped going to like events like that because like I had school the next day and I was like, I really don't want to bank all of this when I'm probably going to lose. And I had that mentality that a lot of people have where it's like you don't go because like I'm probably gonna lose anyway. So I'm like, I'm just gonna chill out over here, chill on my sofa and like eat Cheetos. But yeah, it wasn't a natural progression for me at all. I didn't start traveling a lot until like probably like 2 years ago. I probably didn't go to my first out of state tournament, and that's like only Philly. A lot of people from New York don't even consider that like an actual like an out of state experience. But because like it's really close. But for me, that was my first like out of state like major event. It was like I think it was like Summer Jam. Yeah, it was Summer Jam. Yeah, so for me, it wasn't a natural progression. But I mean, for a lot of people, they kind of like share that same sentiment, which was probably one of my biggest mistakes. So if you actually want to go to an event, then just go and enjoy it.
All right, so I mean, now you're a big boy, right? Like you got sponsored by by Endemic,
Yeah.
which is sort of a relatively like newer esports org, and you're also in something I think it's called like the Street Fighter League or something.
Street Fighter League? Yeah.
Yeah, on Team Gale with some has-been Knuckle Dew. And some guy named Rob TV.
I got these bums on my team, but don't worry, I'll carry them to victory.
I mean, I don't know, man. That jury, while it looks pretty okay, it's not carrying anybody right now.
All right, hold on. First of all, I did not come on this show to have my jury disrespected like this, and for you to spew lies to the public like that. That's very disrespectful. But my jury is actually the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know if you've seen Just a Kid, but I've seen him in my stream a couple of times taking notes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, my jury looking crisp. You know, we had a little bump in the road last week, but you know, we'll be all right.
I mean, all right, you know, you're trying to talk about Just a Kid, but I mean, like, Just a Kid, like, hard carrying in Team Psycho with his jury.
Hey.
I don't see you hard carrying Team Gale with your jury. I'm just being honest, fam. We can go back to the footage.
All right, my jury. All right, my jury held its own. All right, my jury's out here putting in work. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to carry because I have, you know, outstanding teammates that pull their weight. So my jury doesn't have to smoke everybody, but you know, when you need her to get the job done, she's there.
Okay. I mean, so here's a question for you, because you know, everybody has their own take on the ban system for the Street Fighter League. You're currently competing in it, and I'm just wondering, like, what do you think about bans?
So far, and this will probably be an unexpected take, considering my position, because right now I'm definitely like one of the prime targets for the ban. I think so far, you know, the two teams we play, they both banned my character specifically. So, but even despite that, I actually like the ban system.
Ooh.
I think, me personally, I would make a bit of tweaks to the system, but I like the ban system because I don't know, you don't, you know, there's very few people that are willing to play their secondaries that are actually really good. Like Punk is one of the few people that will actually sit down and play a secondary in a high-profile tournament. But you won't see that from a lot of players. You won't see that they're actually talented with other characters until you put them in a position where they have to play those characters in a high, you know, in a tournament setting. So I actually like the ban because like I actually can play jury, and like I don't have to go through the whole hurdle where it's like, you know how like when you lose with a character and you're like, you know, I should just pick my other character. Now I don't have the option to actually pick my other character. So I can like put my all into jury without worrying or having like the whole like, you know, the whole mental thing going on in my head with like, man, if I had a Ibuki, then it would be different. The fact is that I don't have a Ibuki, so it makes me play jury with a bit like, you know, with a bit more freedom, like mental freedom. And I kind of like.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think it's super interesting because even though Dew hasn't gotten banned, right? We're not seeing Dew play his more traditionally known mains. So, like, he hasn't played Guile yet. He hasn't played Mika. He's been sticking to his Cammy. I think one of the interesting things, and I don't know, maybe you have the same opinion, especially for what you said about bans, that it seems like everybody's kind of using it as like a training camp for like their secondaries, because there are a lot of people, you know, with the exclusion of like Justin when he actually gets Manat, like a lot of people look like they want to play their secondaries. They want to see if they can play their secondary in this like top tier situation.
Yes. It's funny that you mentioned about Justin finally getting Manat. It's actually just a running joke now about like how their pick. I always thought Team Psycho's pick was very, very interesting to ban Karen. But it's pretty funny. But no, I mean, as far as like you have a lot of talented people like already playing multiple characters. You have me. I have a secondary. You know, it does kind of suck for certain people that only play one character, like Idom. People only play one character, like Toy. But you actually can see. The thing that's cool is that, you know, even with these character specialists, when they're forced to play another character they don't know how, you can actually see the progression when they play. Like, you know, Toy's Birdie was, you know, vastly different and did a lot better week 2 than it did week 1. I think that's
God. Week one Birdie for Toys was
yeah.
I mean, your jury looks better than his Birdie. I can at least say that.
I've been playing jury a much longer time. I feel like it's a little disrespect in my jury, but it's fine. I'll let it slide.
All right. So, like, you know, I think you're on a team that a lot of people think is going to do well in the Street Fighter League. You know, I think a lot of people have your team. Punk was at Team Inferno, and then I personally pick IDOM's team as the third best team because I think. Well, so here's my reason. I feel like if you're banning Laura, you're forgetting about Samurai's Akuma.
Yes.
And I feel like eventually people are going to remember that, Samurai is, one of the strongest North American players. And, has been playing Akuma. And, if you're just going to let him pick Akuma, he's just gonna run a train on you. So, I've got that as my tier list. Now...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Now, you good. So, I guess what I want to know is, what's a team that, you think is a lot stronger than, I'm giving credit, or, Ultra David or James Chen? Who is somebody that you think we're all sleeping on?
Team Frost, by far. And I think, and I'm not saying that just because we got smoked last week. I'm saying that because I thought this for a while. I always thought that the way the drafting system worked, that Nephew would have a very solid team. And he picked two very good players that not a lot of people probably know that are very good. Up to Snuff is very good Nikali from West Coast. And Dual Kevin, a very good Marvel player, his origins from Marvel. But, even in this game, if you've ever played him or if you've watched him play, he's actually very good. And he plays really solid. I actually give credit to him, because I played with him a lot. Before I went to final round, I had to play John Takuchi. And that helped me a lot actually playing against John, his particular style. So I think Dual Kevin and Up to Snuff are actually really good players. And Nephew actually on his own, as you could see by us all getting smoked by his secondary.
I didn't want to say anything. Look, I'm only going to smoke you about one thing. I'm not going to roast you the whole episode, I promise.
Yeah, but Nephew actually is a very good player, and he's a very good player with two characters. So, they have a very strong captain, and they have a very strong team behind that captain. But even though you might not be too familiar with the players, but I feel like as you I don't know, I feel like as the show goes on, I think they'll do very well. I think we'll get to see how strong that team actually is.
All right. Now, you're not the only character specialist who's played their secondary more than their primary. Do you think now that you've been doing the Street Fighter League that we might see you playing Jury more at higher level events?
Absolutely not.
Wow. You first of all, hold up, chat. You remember how he was telling me I should not be picking on him and his jury too much. And then the second I give this man the time to say that his jury is clean, right? That's when he's like, nah, we 100% going back to Ibuki.
Oh no. But listen, I love me some jury. I think my jury is one of the best in the biz. But I think Ibuki is just too good to not play her in a high profile setting, and she is a much less stressful character to play efficiently than Jury is. And Ibuki just got that style to her that I love. She's a lot of fun to play. I can't consistently have fun the same way with Jury that I can Ibuki right now, and that might be for some obvious reasons. Maybe it's because of how good the character is, but I like really good cheap characters, Sumi.
All right, I mean that's fair. So I guess here's the question, because you said you started with Goki, right? Goken in Street Fighter 4? Yeah. So, how did we get to, a heavy mix-up oriented character like Ibuki? Because you went from, a Shoto character, right?
Goken, it was weird. People kind of consider him a Shoto just because he, trained Ryu and Ken, but he didn't really have the traditional Shoto tool set. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I get what you're saying. He was more zone heavy, more fundamental base, and Ibuki's scum lord. So yeah. I think from Goken, I started with Goken. Goken was really fun. I miss him. But I think after 8E I had picked up Yang. And I kinda was getting into a lot of Yang. I didn't switch over to maining Yang yet, but around the end of AE 2012 to Ultra, I think I finally made the full-on switch to Yang, and he's a very. I find out that as a player, I like having a lot of mobility. I like being safe, and I like having a lot of options, and I also like rushing down more than I like playing a bit more defensively.
Hmm.
So I think Yang was kind of like the transition period where I went from, Goken, who's a zoner, to Yang, who's more a bit. He's like he's like more footsie, more. He's still offensive, but he's a bit more footsie oriented than his like brother, Yun. But
Hmm.
I like having the options as Yang, and when I finally went over to Street Fighter Five, I started with Karen, and Karen's really really mobile, does a lot of damage. She has good options, good rush down. And then eventually, I finally switched to Ibuki, and Ibuki kind of has that same thing to her, but she has that kind of like style and flair and mobility that I really like. So
Okay. So you just like being a terrible person is what I'm hearing.
absolutely, yes.
All right. I mean, like that's fair. So like, all right, we know that you got the pocket jury. We know that you're a filth lord. I mean, you're not as bad as Cammy players, but
I think I'm
it
worse.
huh?
I
You
think
think
I'm
you're
worse.
worse than Cammy players?
Ibuki is definitely much more scum than he is.
All right, but
Especially
like, let's say that the Street Fighter League had two bans, and people were like, all right, this guy's got a jury. Let's get rid of the jury and get rid of the Ibuki. Is there like a secret third character that isn't Karen? Like, are you secretly like another Abigail player? Because
oh,
so far it sounds like all you do is play cheap stuff. So like,
that
Abigail
Abigail.
seems to fit that.
Well, I mean, I don't think I would go the cheap route as far as Abigail, but I mean, I play Colleen on the side every now and then. So yeah, I think she's still cheap. So yeah, I'm still fitting the bill. And you can ban all my characters. You can't ban the cheap.
All right, so fairness is not in Shine's FGC vocabulary, is what I'm
Oh,
hearing.
oh, absolutely.
Absolutely not.
We don't do fair characters over here. We only do we only do I'd say top five, yeah, five or up, yeah.
All
We only
right.
do five characters over here now.
Okay, so like, all right. So this is always something that's interests me. It's like Justin's really known for his like turtling and like zoning style, and you're saying here that you like really like sort of the cheap stuff, high mobility. What is it about that that sort of like why do you gravitate towards that? Over like playing a grappler, or like Justin playing sort of a zoning sort of neutral based character. What is it about sort of that sort of high mobility mix up that like you gravitate towards?
I think it's just from me. I think it's just a lot of pent up resentment over the years of me playing Goku and just kind of getting abused for a while. So I think after playing about 5 years, just getting abused from like folks attacks or just really bad matchups like Goku versus Yun was not fun. Goku versus Cammy, Rose, like all that. I don't like playing matches where I feel helpless. So like when I play these high mobility and mix up characters, it's like I can have all the elements of a good player. Like and I can play neutral. I can like play defensive, but I like having that option of being able to play both defensive and having the tools to actually play defensive and having the tools to also rush down. I like having all the tools for every situation. And I feel like when characters like playing Goken, I didn't feel like I had that with all like again with every matchup. I didn't feel like I had that. I had to kind of like just be at the mercy of some matchups. Whereas with characters like Yang or Buki, I never feel completely lost. I feel like I can always look back and I know that there was an answer there. And even if I don't see it now, as long as I keep studying, like it'll be there.
All right, you actually brought up an interesting thing because you're saying you're talking about studying. What is your like day to day training like these days?
I like to play. I think I just like to play when I feel like playing. So my hours that I actually play may vary, but I try to aim for at least like 3 or 4 a day, even on like a day where I don't really feel like playing that much. But it can vary anywhere. Like if I when I really feel like playing, I can play like 8 or 10 hours. But like on an average day, I feel like I aim for more like 3 or 4 because I like this. I feel like after a while my back hurts too much. I have to take too many breaks. But yeah, I'd say on average like probably like 3 or 4. And then if I'm not actually playing, I like to just watch like streams or I like to watch like high level replays of like Fujimura and Shien to see like just a little bit like little things that I can take from like their Ibuki and like apply it to mine. So
So when you say you play for like 3 to 4 hours, especially on like days that you're not feeling it, is that a lot of like, sitting and like playing, sitting and like doing lab work, or are you like playing? Are you playing like, are you setting up net play with people? Like what does that actually look like? Because a lot of people say, oh, I play for 5 hours, or I play for 6 hours, but like what does that actually look like?
no, I have to play against people. Like it's Street Fighter Five isn't a game like excuse me. It's not a game like Marvel where like you can spend like hours and hours in training mode. It's like at least for me, I can't spend hours and hours in training mode for Street Fighter Five. Like if I have something I want to test, then I'll go to training mode. If I have like if I want to just like if I'm looking or trying to like figure out something, then maybe I'll stay in there for probably like 30 minutes max. But I can't stay in Street Fighter Five training mode too long, so I'll probably play like ranked match or I'll play ideally, I like to set up matches with good players that I know and just set up a battle lounge, just grind out each matchup that I can.
All right, so like, who's your go-to? So like, all right, because this is sort of based on a question I got from the community. When you're preparing, let's say for like combo breakers coming up, right? So I'm assuming you're doing some type of practice leading up to combo breaker. When you're doing that, are you like, all right, this matchup is super weak, so I'm gonna try to hit up this specific person? Like, what does that tournament prep look like?
So assuming that the brackets are like presented to us at a reasonable time, um, I'll look through my bracket and I'll look at my projected road, uh, just in case through winners, winner side. I'll look at my projected road and all the people I may face, and I'll have a mental note of my head. Like let's say I have a really good Bison player in my pool, and I'll make a mental note like okay, I have these are the Bison players that I can play. I can play Toy. Um, I can play. I can play Tampa Bison. I can play. And I have to think about which players I can play within a reasonable connection. So I have to think about like East Coast. So I'll think about Bison players that I have to play, and I'll invite them or I'll message them and see if they want to play, and I'll just kind of like grind out the matchup and see what it's like. I'll do research on that specific Bison player, and I'll try to find a Bison player that's probably closer to his specific style, his specific style, and I'll just kind of like go from there. So that's kind of like how I train, and I'll do that for multiple characters for everyone that's in my pool that I'm really worried about, or within my road to like top 32, top 8. So that's pretty much what I'll do.
Okay. So this is also sort of a community question. When you're playing, do you have like a roadmap in your brain? Like, all right, I'm playing against Cammy, so I want to start with this and then do this and then do that, or do you just kind of like let it rock as you play against that player? So like, let's say you're playing against like Alex Myers.
Yeah.
Do you have like a roadmap as to how you want to sort of have a flow chart for how you want that matchup to go? Or do you just like keep in mind like what your options versus his Cammy are?
It is a combination of both, and sometimes you just have to be you have to. It'll depend if I know who I'm playing against. So like, let's say for a Cammy player that I know is like really aggressive, or a Cammy player where I know certain tendencies that they might have. Like let's say, for example, I'm playing against like Dan Slip or something.
Okay.
And I know Dan Slip, his movement sometimes is very unpredictable. So for me, a lot of the time, my strategy will be like, okay, well, I'll just kind of like have to wait and see what he does and try to react to it. Whereas, there will be other players like, let's say a Kenny player like Gamerby, where it's like, okay, I kind of have to like take the initiative a bit more, and I might have to like save my meter and do jumpy X kunai to get in because I won't win on the ground, but I still have to play the ground game, so I have to kind of like move forward and like actually fight him back on the ground. So there's different strategies depending on the player, which is why I have to like a lot of times I have to look up exactly who I'm playing against and see how they play, and then find a player that kind of like is closer to that style of play. Because I won't play Gamerby to prepare for Dan Slip, and I won't play Dan Slip to prepare for Gamerby.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so I guess because we've been at this for like half an hour now. So I have the last couple of questions for you. So my first one is, who is somebody right now that you've been struggling with, and you're like hoping you can break through the demon? Like who's your demon right now?
Oh, dude, by far. It's not even a question. I can't. Some of the things he does blows my mind. It makes me so angry. No matter when I'm playing him, it makes me so angry. And he understands how I think. He knows exactly how to upset me while we're playing, and he'll do it on purpose. No matter how high profile, he'll do the specific thing just because he knows that it'll annoy me, and it does. And he has a very good grasp on how I think. So, and we play a lot, so he understands me very well. So when we do play, I have a lot of difficulty playing against him, but we'll work on it. His time's coming. For now, he's my teammate. We're working towards a common goal. So the next time I see him in tournament, that's it.
I mean, so you say that he knows your tendencies. I feel like you should know his by now.
I should, and I do. It's just very difficult to take advantage of because he is, he is definitely a world-class player. He's very good, and he knows the Ibuki matchup very well. Certain people are just, it's weird how some minds work match up, but certain people just have trouble against a specific person because they know exactly how they think. Like there are bad matchups on paper, like character matchups, and then there are bad player matchups. And I think he gets that, and he understands how to take advantage of my weaknesses as a player more so than I know how to take advantage of his weaknesses. So I do understand his weaknesses because we do play a lot, but I think he's much better at exposing my bad habits and my weaknesses as a player.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So now, do you know if you're somebody's demon? Like, has anybody come up to you and been like, "Yo, I for the life of me cannot beat you"?
Let me think. I think Just a Kid. Because has told me outright that he has a lot of difficulty, and with some of Ibuki's mix-ups in specific, he blocks the wrong way every single time. So I think he just outright told me that one time. I was like, yeah, I just have a lot of trouble.
Okay. Now this is I don't want you to take the weak way out. I'm letting you know right now that if you give me a soft answer, you're gonna get roasted for it. Is there anybody, when you look at the bracket, where you're like, oh man, this is gonna be so free?
Oh man, okay.
Like I said, if you soft answer me and you're like, oh nah, everybody's a challenging opponent, I will legit, it'll be over. We will end the stream right here. Don't you give me no softness.
All right. I have to think. All right, give me a second. Put me in the hot seat. All right, this is definitely a hot seat question. Well, so, I'm trying to think of a couple names.
First one that comes to your brain.
The first one that comes to my brain? All right,
yeah.
Well, all right, so.
No, you can't preface. Just say it. I know there's someone there because I can see it in your face.
Oh man! All right, so he's gonna be so pissed. But no, yeah, I can kind of like look at the bracket and if I see, and I know that he hates fighting Ibuki too, which helps me a lot. He struggles a lot against Ibuki, but yeah, I can I would say it has to be Sanford. Although, please let me prefix this. He has a lot of trouble with Ibuki, and I know that he does. So he has a lot of trouble with me as a player too, which is interesting because it used to be the reverse back in Street Fighter 4 for a long time. When I played Goken for a while, I had a lot of difficulty with him, but now it's kind of the reverse, and he has a lot of difficulty with Ibuki. So. But even then, the reason why I didn't want to, it's hard for me to answer that because even then, when I see Sam from the bracket, it's like, it's not in my head that it's like, all right, it's gonna be a free win. It's like it's still hard to fight him. Like when I play him, majority of the time I win, but a lot of the time it's still close calls. So I can't really say that like it's 100% free. It's just like I think a lot of time it just comes down to like I just guess right, and I just end up guessing right a lot apparently.
I mean, I'll let that slide. I'll let your preface slide. You know, this I'm here to start drama. You know,
Apparently, putting me in the hot.
I mean, like the FGC is kind of like wrestling, right? So like, there's got to be beefs. Everybody tries to pretend like they're all friends, and we know that's not true. We know we're not all friends, right? We're family, but we don't love everybody in our family.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
that, right? So like, I'm here to stir the pot a bit.
Yeah, you got that one cousin you kind of just don't want to hang around with, but you kind of have to because they're family.
Right, so I feel like it's okay to want to stir the pot a bit. All right.
No, I don't hate him. I actually play him a lot. He's a good training partner. I'm normally ready for the Zeku matchup because I play him a lot. So shout out to Sanford.
That's fair. All right, so let's start to wrap this up. What is one character that you will never ever touch?
Which character I would never touch? Probably Zangief. I don't like characters like that. Big, stocky, like characters where it's like your mobility is restricted and you have to play in a way that kind of takes risks because you have a lot of health to get that one hit. Mm-hmm. My mind can't process that type of play style. So I think Zangief would be definitely the character that I avoid.
All right, and I think we're living in a golden age of fighting games where there's so many good ones out at once. Is there any other game, like, MK11 just came out, Dragon Ball's pretty hype. Is there any game right now that you could see yourself potentially putting more effort into and playing competitively?
I did play DBZ, but I stopped playing for a while. I'm actually playing MK now. I was actually playing a lot today. So I think MK I'm putting a lot more time into now, learning it. It's my first. I played Injustice and Injustice 2, but it's my first NRS game that's actually Mortal Kombat. So I'm still learning how to use a block button. But, yeah, so I'm familiar with NRS games, but not familiar with having a block button, which actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be. So I'm kind of getting used to it. But I'm putting a lot more time into MK playing it. I actually entered it at Texas Showdown, so I'll be testing my luck at Texas Showdown with MK11 and Street Fighter.
Okay. So let's wrap this up. What are the next events people can see you at? Who are the sponsors you need to shout out? All that good stuff. Do your shilling.
Yeah, the next events you can probably catch me at are Texas Showdown. I think it's like May 10th and 12th. Combo Breaker, I forget the exact date. DreamHack Dallas, I'm aiming for as well. I think CEO I'm aiming for. Let me check in my nugget real quick. And of course Evo. I forget which tournaments in between are along the way, but I'll just have to check the schedule. Of course, all those events I would not be going to without the support of my sponsor, Endemic. So shout out to them. They've definitely been treating me real well since I signed with them, so that's awesome. Having a great time with them, actually.
Okay. I hear you stream sometimes?
Yep, okay. I do. My Twitch.
Yeah.
So you can catch me streaming. A lot of times I stream in the early afternoon. Sometimes I stream in the evening. But normally on the weekdays I stream. But anyway, my Twitch is Shine NYC. Just straight up, just Shine NYC. If you wanted to stop by and see what I'm doing, probably playing. I kind of like switch in between Street Fighter and MK11. I think most of the time I'll be playing Street Fighter and grinding MK11 off stream. Because I'm obviously more proficient, and it's easier for me to talk and play in a game that I already understand how to play. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably be playing Street Fighter on stream a lot more. So if you want to watch me play Street Fighter, then obviously tune in my stream. My Twitch name is obviously Shine NYC. So,
all right. Okay. And for you guys, we do have a community shout out. So if you're in the Atlanta area, there's Earthrealm Dojo this weekend. It's got a 1K MK11 pop bonus that's growing daily. So if you're in the Atlanta area, it's going to be on the 4th. So I believe that's this Saturday. The doors open at 2 p.m. It's going to be an Access replay. You can find more information at smash.gg/ER dojo. And if you're not able to catch it, make sure that you hit up twitch.tv/datafgc. Their stream is starting at 3 p.m. So please make sure that you guys can support some dope MK11 stuff. And also there will be other games. So if you're not just an MK player and you're from the Atlanta area and you like Street Fighter, I think they're doing BlazBlue. I don't know all the information off the top of my head. All I guys will talk my handy dandy notepad. But yeah, Shine, thanks so much for coming out.
No problem. And shout out to the ATL scene. I love those guys. They're all really good players too. As far as I know, the Street Fighter players are very good. So.
Yeah, and the Tekken House people are some of the chillest people out there. And so
Yep. Yeah. No, I love the ATL scene. I wish my only regret when I lived on ATL is not actually going out to more ATL locally. But you guys cannot make the same mistake I did and go to Earthbound Dojo. So.
Yep. All right, and until next time, remember to go beyond, plus ultra, and peace.
All right, peace. Thanks for having me.
No problem.